Welcome to Thoughts on Investing. Today, we're jumping right into a full-blown drug war that has absolutely exploded in the multi-billion-dollar weight loss market. We're talking about a heavyweight showdown between the pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk and the telehealth disruptor HIMS and NVO. And look, this isn't just some boring corporate dispute. It's a battle with massive implications for investors, for consumers, and really for the future of medicine. Let's break it all down.
Okay, but before we get into the thick of it, just a quick but super important reminder, this is all for educational purposes, it's not financial advice. You know the markets can be a wild ride, so please always do your own research.
So how did we even get here? Well, we're going to walk through the whole story. We'll start with how this drug war kicked off, look at the big moves each company made, then dive into the legal firestorm that followed, and of course, see how Wall Street reacted to all the chaos. And at the end, we'll wrap it all up with the one key takeaway you really need to know.
All right, let's set the scene. In one corner, you've got the reigning champ, and in the other, a very ambitious challenger. So on one side, you have the heavyweight, Novo Nordisk. This is a huge, established pharma company out of Denmark, the brains behind a blockbuster weight loss drug, Wegovy. And on the other side, you've got HIMS and NVO, a nimble online telehealth company that's trying to completely change the game. It is the classic David versus Goliath story.
So the first big move in this chess match came from the big guy, Novo Nordisk, as they tried to lock down their control over the market. Novo decided to double down and launch a pill version of Wegovy. And the logic here is pretty simple, right? A pill is way easier for most people to take than an injection. That could open the door to a massive new group of customers. And at first, it looked like a genius move. The demand was huge and the pill was flying off the shelves. But then, a crack started to show. Even with this hot new product, Novo's stock took a pretty big hit. So what happened? Well, the company told Wall Street that future revenues might not be as great as everyone hoped because of something they called pricing pressures. That little hint of weakness was all it took. Investors got nervous and the stock started to slide. And right when Novo showed that tiny bit of weakness, HIMS and NVO pounced. They saw an opening and made a move that was designed to completely blow up the market.
Now, to really understand what happens next, you got to get the pricing. For Novo's official FDA-approved pill, you're looking at about $150 a month, maybe even more.
Okay, get ready for this. HIMS comes out and says they're going to sell their version for just $49. Seriously, $49. That is a massive price cut meant to be a bombshell. And of course, the first question everyone asked was, how is that even legal?
In this slide right here, this is the core of the whole thing. These are two very, very different products. Novo's pill went through that whole tough FDA approval process. It uses a special patented tech called SNAC to help your body absorb it. HIMS version, on the other hand, is what's called a compounded drug. That means a pharmacist is literally mixing the ingredients. It is not FDA approved, and it does not use that patented SNAC tech. This one difference is what this whole war is all about.
As you can probably guess, the establishment was not happy about this. The response from both Novo Nordisk and the federal regulators was fast and it was harsh.
Novo Nordisk came out swinging, calling what HIMS was doing illegal mass compounding. They immediately announced they were going to sue HIMS to protect their patents and, the whole FDA approval system. This wasn't just some corporate smack talk. This was a declaration of all-out legal war.
And then the government stepped in. The FDA put out a very public, very serious warning. They said they would take swift action against any companies selling these unapproved drugs. The agency made it super clear. We can't guarantee that these copycats are safe or that they even work. And to really drive the point home, they mentioned they've gotten hundreds of reports of bad side effects from similar compounded drugs. All of a sudden, HIMS wasn't just fighting a lawsuit, it was in the FDA's crosshairs.
So you've got a price war, a lawsuit, and an FDA warning all hitting the news at once. How on earth did the stock market react to all this madness?
Well, for a second, it actually looked like a huge win for HIMS. When they announced that $49 price, the stock shot up before the market even opened. But that party did not last long. As soon as the news about the lawsuit and the FDA warning came out, the stock did a complete 180 and tanked, ending the day down about 10%. The excitement was gone, replaced by some very real fear.
And hey, Novo Nordisk wasn't safe from the damage either. That combination of their own weak forecast and this new aggressive competition from HIMS sent their stock down too. It was pretty clear that this war was creating a ton of risk and uncertainty for everybody involved.
So what's the bottom line? When you cut through all the noise, what does this all really mean?
This slide pretty much sums it up perfectly.
On one side of the scale, you have Novo Nordisk. They're armed with FDA approval, patents, and the full support of the entire regulatory system. And on the other side, you've got HIMS and HERS, making a really risky bet on a legal gray area, compounding, that regulators are already trying to shut down. It's a high-stakes gamble with huge legal and safety risks.
Okay, so let's just recap the whole thing real quick. Step 1. Novo launches its new pill, but weak guidance spooks investors. Step 2. That gives HIMS an opening to launch its super cheap, unapproved Copycat. Step 3. HIMS stock shoots up, but then crashes back down because of the legal and regulatory risks. Step 4. Novo sues and the FDA issues a stern warning. The end result? Both stocks are now caught in this crazy, volatile fight with a ton of risk on both sides.
Which really brings us to the big question. Is what HIMS is doing a brilliant act of market disruption, or is it a dangerous delusion that's about to collapse under legal pressure? The winner of this weight loss war is anything but certain.
Hey, if you enjoyed this explainer, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching.